You know, I'm just figuring out that Bupanasu, the mental plushie that's in Jagaan's head that no one else can see, is actually like the mental manifestation of Jagaan's past desire, his previous desire. Like the one that got him through the whole pre-time skip. Because I think I was too into that back then. I was too into the story to even like consider what that even was. I thought it was just something to keep him going, but I feel as if it's more, for lack of a better term, abbreviated now, that this is like his desire in physical form that no one else can see, obviously. But and it's so obvious now because of how he's reacting to Jagaan's new power up. He's not even considering how Jagaan himself feels about what just happened and what brought him to getting that. I mean, he states it. He says that sacrifices must be made, but the main thing is that he's always smiling, and he's mainly happy about the fact that Jagasaki got that power up to defeat Nomen. He's like, this is what I've been waiting for this whole time. Now you can finally beat Nomen. And Jagaan wasn't hearing that shit. And while his new like truth-seeking orb's fucking exploding orb power it does seem a lot more stronger. Well, can't even say that, but it seems like at least he got his power back. Is what I'm trying to say. But these seem like strength based. Like they're not versatile. He does stuff with it, but it seems more so like strength savvy. And while I do think that this new power, like the fucking truth-seeker orbs that he has, is strong, I do like his older power better. I like the look of it, the design of it. I like his powers in general better. He had bullets, he had a mini machine gun, he had heat-seeking missiles, he had like dragon bullets that could sense things. But this new power seems to resolve around that ball and just the destructive power that it has. Pause, but I don't see him do a lot of things with balls, like the balls, the new fucking true secret orbs that he has. And when it comes to the origin of this power itself, it seems like Jagasaki is just as curious as we are as to how it came to be. It could have been shame, it could have been regret, it could have been both. But at least my point is, like, what I'm happy about is the fact that he's just not useless anymore. I thought that Bell was gonna be the main cause of his power up, but it turns out it's Takamitsu. I'm not too mad about it. I explained in my previous video about how that came to be, and I'm not mad at that all in all. But it seems like the only person not rooting for this new power up in general, that's generally you think would be like a good thing, because he can put a stop to Nomen, or at least help to put a stop to Nomen. Bell-chan is not happy at all. She thinks he's gonna fully fracture. And though I do see where she's coming from, I don't see any signs of that happening. In fact, he's still aware of what's going on. He's even asking himself questions about how this power came to be. People who are even in the midst of fully fraction aren't even worried about the power and how they got it itself. They're just worried about their desires in general. They're not worried about people, they're not worried about themselves. They're just rampant desires. And not only all that, but he has a new resolve to not waste his new life and his new power that was given to him by Takamitsu. And like I just said, like, we know what fully fracturing looks like. He had none of those signs. Like, people like the heavy breathing, the fracturization of his whole body, the unreasonable aggression, none of that is displayed like post transformation. In fact, ever since post time skip, he's had like an abundance of control. Like, he had, I don't know, I forgot how long it was from like the Deadland arc and post time skip, the beginning of post time skip, but he's controlled the hell out of his abilities. It's kind of like he mastered it. So and there have been multiple situations where you think he should fully fracture, like when he was fighting the Tengu, like when he was on his like, I'm not gonna say dying breath, but he was like tuckered out from using his ability so much. He had that huge dragon on his arm, and you think that that'd be a time when he'd fully fracture, but he still had fully control and he was aware of everything. Like, I don't think that him fully fracturing is a problem, or was a problem post time skip. And I don't know why she thinks that this new power is. I get it. No matter of fact, I'm not. I said this before, I do get where she's coming from, but I don't see him actually doing that because he has so much control and he's so used to this power that he has now. And Bell-chan never like seen that post time skip, so she thinks that she sees this really powerful dude and she just assumes he's gonna fully fracture. Like, back up, all right? You're the only person that's not with this whole thing going down. Like, even if he was to fully fracture, okay. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Like, if he was fully fractured, it'd be a fucking problem. No one could beat him existing right now, at least in the area. Because I think like Japan is the only place where fractured humans are. They weren't like there was no center of attention anywhere else in the world. So I'm assuming that it's mainly in Japan, and in Japan, no one's beating him if he fully fractures. And I don't see that happening because he's fucking OP ever since post time skip. So I could see him fully fracturing being a problem, but no, Bell-chan, no. So anyway, we cut to what's happening with Chiharu and Nomen, and Chiharu's having a tough time. Actually, he's getting his ass beat. He's getting his ass beat by Nomen right now. And as he's about to get off by Nomen, that's when Jagasaki pulls up and rips, like he sends the orb down on his head and rip. Well, I guess he is the orb. He's on Nomen's head and he rips something out of his head, which I'm assuming is Nomen's his main body. And I super duper mega doubt that that's how it ends. I doubt he ended it with him pulling whatever the fuck he pulled out of Nomen's body is gonna be the end of it. But you can assume that Jagasaki is gonna end this right now. You know he's gonna win. At this point, it's just a matter of how. We've seen this trope. Well, if you're not new to manga in general, like battle manga, you know this is gonna be the end. But like, it's just a matter of how this is gonna go down. And that's how that chapter is. This is how the chapter itself ends. And we have a little bit of post chapter notes from the author, him or herself. I don't know if it's a he or her, but we get some notes at the end of the chapter that this is going to be the last chapter of this volume and the last chapter conveniently of 2021. Not only that, but this will be well, the next volume will be the last volume of the series. Now for this series overall, it's been a fucking ride. If I had to rate the pre-time skip out of a 1 to 10, I'd probably give it honestly a 8.5 or a 9. I love the pre-time skip work. You had the shonen tropes, you had like the grown-up seinen tropes, you had Robachan's rapey ass. It was all good though. It blended in really well, and I think Deadline was a perfect place to end the pre-time skip and just go to the next chapter of the final thing of the whole series. And for the post-time skip, it was really good starting off. I loved Jagasaki and his new power. I like how the new people came in and how they tried to sway him into joining their group and say they're for a good cause to end everything with the fractured humans and stuff. He was like, nah, I'm off of that, dude. I've been there, done that. It is what it is. I have my own agenda at this point. I don't even care about whether the fractured humans proceed or they go away. Either way, I have my vendetta against these people, this group of people. So I loved how it was set up. I love how it was executed at the first part. It was kind of getting shaky in the middle. Like I think it started getting shaky after Jagasaki killed the Tengu. Like when it started getting into stuff with Jagasaki and Takemitsu, that's when it kind of get a little and we actually just passed that. So it just started to get the story all in all just started to get for me at the end, which is good. I'd rather have that than the whole post time skip being just weird as fuck. But it was good until that point of Jagasaki and Takemitsu interacting and him not killing Takemitsu. That's what kind of pissed me off about post time skip, because that was his whole thing. He had his vendetta with the Tengu. I love that, by the way, because you knew he was gonna win. Like Jagasaki, like he portrayed him. The author portrayed Jagasaki to be so OP and just great in how he was so honed with his powers. I loved it. And then the guy with Takemitsu, all of a sudden he doesn't want to kill him because of his fake son. Keyword fake fucking son. So that's what kind of like threw me off the rails with the post time skip. Not fully, but I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like how they got down with that. So I liked it up until that point, and now they're closing it. And at this point, I just want them to close the story with the least amount of questions possible. I love the series, but I don't have many questions. I mean, we know how the Fraction Human started. We don't know, or not even how, but how, like why Chiharu started the Fractured Humans. But we know he started it. We know he made them, which that was question answered. It was kind of vague about how, or I mean, like why he went about it, or even how he went about it. It's crazy to put like frogs into the planet that if they go inside you, they give you powers based on your desire. They didn't explain that pretty well, honestly. That's one of the things you didn't question much in the series, because of how they executed it was so good. You're like, I don't even fucking care. So I like that, but it's not many questions I have for this series. So as long as they don't end on a questionable note, so far, if this series ended right now with this volume, well, obviously it wouldn't, but like if it did, I wouldn't have much question. I just wanted to finish with a respectable closure. That's all I want from this series. That like you got me being iffy at the last part of post time skip. That's not bad at all for a series for me. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. I can't wait to see how Jagasaki ends up beating Noman, or like if he's gonna like because we've seen Noman, we've seen his second form and how he fights. I don't think he holds a candle to Jagasaki, obviously, but I just want to see. I want to see more of this new power. I'm kind of mad, honestly. I'm kind of mad that they just implemented this new power, but then again, he had no reason to get. Actually, I was gonna say they didn't have reason to give him a power up, like a second form, but post time skip he should have had this second form, but he didn't have nothing to push him. He just had that desire, and I guess that desire of killing Takemitsu or just Deadland in general was enough for a new form, but it was enough for him to upgrade his arsenal, his initial base arsenal. So that was pretty good. But yeah, that'll be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or any comments on this chapter, how'd you guys like this volume? How'd you guys like his new power up? Like the video if you want to. Yeah, I will see you guys next volume. Happy New Year and all that good shit. I will see you guys next video. Peace.